The internet is losing its mind over a woman they're calling the baby formula lady. This woman has called over 30 churches pretending to be a mother with a starving 2, 3 month old baby, asking if they were able to provide or donate any baby formula to help her out. And y'all, she has gotten denied by almost every single church except for like two or three. And the ones that actually did accept happen to be predominantly African American. But we're not going to get into that because she actually called one mosque, and they were automatically like, yes, what's the formula? Tell us what you need. How old is the baby? I mean, they were ready to help. Now, if you really want to get annoyed, just wait until the end where you see the audacity of the pastors actually responding to this scandal. Y'all, it is a mess. Now, I will link her TikTok page down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, let's just get into it.
26 churches, and 23 of them turned her down. This is what happened to Nicolene. She called 26 churches for help. She pretended to be a desperate mother without baby formula, even playing the sound of a baby crying in the background, begging for help. Some churches gave excuses, some hung up, and others coldly responded, "We don't do that here." But she didn't give up. She made another call, but this time not to a church, to a Muslim mosque. The response was completely different. "Where are you? What kind of formula do you need? Come here, we'll help you." The churches who preach love thy neighbor failed to offer any help in a time of need, while the often misunderstood Muslim community showed what real faith looks like through action. After this experiment, some supported Nicole, believing she exposed the hypocrisy of the religious system. Others criticized her for stirring unnecessary controversy. But no matter where you stand, we all have to ask ourselves, if even those who claim to preach love can't practice it, then where can we find real love?
This is the Islamic Center that was calling back in. So, hold on. Let's go for it. They called me back. The Islamic Center of Charlotte just called back.
Islamic Center of Charlotte, overlooking.
Hi, yes. I was trying to call. I have a 2-month-old baby, and I ran out of formula last night, and I was wanting to see if there's any way you all could help with a can of baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? Do you live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
Okay. And what kind of formula you need?
It's the Good Start.
Good start. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. If you come over here, we'll help you.
Okay, hold on just 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm actually doing a social experiment. So I don't have a baby and I don't have a need. But I am doing a social experiment just to see which churches would actually help a starving baby.
Have you guys been seeing those videos where the woman is calling into the churches, asking the churches if they will help her and her baby get baby formula? Where the woman is calling in and saying that she ran out of baby formula and needs help from the church, seeing if these churches would actually help her. I am absolutely blown away with the amount of churches that are not helping her. And even more worse, a majority of the churches that are denying her are these Christian churches. And remember, these churches get massive tax breaks, and a lot of the churches that are actually helping her are the Islamic churches, as well as churches that are predominantly black and Hispanic. And even more insaner, she has a bunch of videos. I can't even watch them all, but allegedly one of the churches blamed Joe Biden. And even more sadder, I just looked up how much baby formula costs. It's like 20 bucks for a massive tub, and you would think for all of the tax breaks that churches get, it's the least they could do. And go and search for her name right now. Her name is Nikalie. And sadly, a lot of these white Christian churches need to do a lot more better. And the most biggest issue to me is that she is asking for baby formula, not even for money. This is for a baby. Some of these churches should be ashamed of themselves. Do you think churches should give free baby formula?
The lady that's calling the churches to see if they will give formula to her starving baby, of course they're not going to give formula to a starving baby. We've been telling y'all this for decades, and I'm so sick of seeing it spin around all over the internet that, oh my God, she's calling, and now we're just now seeing it. It's 2025! We have poor people on the streets! If the churches worked, there would be no hungry or poor people on the streets! God damn! That's the fucking point! Christ is not in the church! Jesus is not in the church! He has never been in the church! He is the one who told you to leave the fucking church! He told you to leave! Oh my God! I to people. He said you made a mockery of my father by taking this money and not helping the people. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Have you seen this woman calling and testing churches throughout America to see if they will help a desperate mother and a starving baby, to see if they will give them baby food? Because the responses to this have been shockingly disgraceful.
The lady that's calling the churches to see if they will give formula to her starving baby. Of course they're not going to give formula to a starving baby. We've been telling y'all this for decades, and I'm so sick of seeing it spin around all over the internet that, oh my God, she's calling and now we're just not seeing it. It's 2025!
As you should know, a woman named Nicolay Monroe, and I had to give her a follow after this, has reportedly dialed dozens of US churches pretending to be a new mother in need of baby formula. She even has a crying baby screaming in the background audio playing in the back to make it sound all the more believable. And so far, out of every single church that this woman has called, the only ones that have showed her any actual immediate help have come from mosques and Buddhist temples, none from Christian churches. Now, many of you have rightfully pointed out how unbelievably disgraceful this is, with Christianity teaching charity, compassion as one of the forefront values to have as a person. And so refusing a desperate mother and a baby who could literally die without this help is literally just showing a moral gap between actual doctrine and real life. Not to mention, churches often receive donations and tax exemptions, often with the idea that they are serving the community. But if they're turning away people that are actively in need, it raises the question on actual accountability. After all, if you're not willing to help the most vulnerable in your own community, why are you getting tax exemptions, bro?
Y'all, whatever you do, don't watch those videos of that woman calling around churches, being told no when she's needing help, because you're gonna find that she calls a mosque and they say yes right away and they're so nice, and I think I'm getting my period. Oh, but the kindness. Oh, and then they had like a 1-star review when she called, and then a bunch of there's like 1,000 5-star reviews after that. They had no idea it was like a social experiment. Oh, but they're so nice. And that was really nice.
So I was just scrolling TikTok and I found this woman who calls local churches and pretends that her baby is hungry to see if they will buy her child a small baby formula. And I'm going to put her at in the bottom. And it is actually mind-boggling to me how many of these churches say no. So then I was like, you know what? Let me acknowledge my ignorance. What does a small baby formula cost? So I looked it up and it's roughly between $5 to $20. And to think that these churches who get incredible amounts of tax exemptions and all types of shit would say no to such thing is kind of unfathomable to me. I'm almost certain that every religion has some semblance of take care of your neighbor or do unto others as you want to be done unto yourself. You know, I'm sure Islam has one. I'm sure Buddhism has one. I know for a fact Christianity has one. You know what I mean? You're supposed to look out for your peoples. And it's people on the phone, pastors on the phone, dead telling this lady no. So I implore you guys, go scroll this lady's page. Shout out to her, she's doing the Lord's work. But go scroll this lady's page and watch some of these videos. It's it's the craziest shit to me in the world.
Let's talk about this creator that I tagged below that's calling churches, mosques, and other religious organizations, and she has a crying baby sound in the background, and she's asking them if they can get her 1 can of formula because her baby hasn't eaten in a day. Click on her link, go watch some of those videos, but I want to talk about something that's really troubling inside of the Christian church these days. Out of all the mosques she called, I think every single one of them were like, hey, do you live close enough? We can get you this bottle of formula. We're going to come get it. Out of the Christian churches she called, it's 4 out of 26 offered to help her. The real shame of it is that most of those just hung up the phone with her, said they couldn't help, sorry, call somebody else. But I think the real problem with this lies in something deeper. These churches have outsourced their helping hand to organizations in the community that they support. They send financial resources, they send material resources to an organization that they try to funnel all of the people that need help into. which is great. It's fabulous for the community to have these resources where someone can go to one spot instead of having to call multiple different churches. But what I've noticed with the people she's talking to at these churches on the phone is that with the outsourcing of helping people individually like this, they've outsourced their empathy, they've outsourced their ability to want to help individually, which is what Jesus called Christians to do. Remember, she's only asking for one can of formula to get her baby through another couple days. And these people are straight up saying, sorry, can't help you. Have you called this place? Have you called that place? She says, yes, I've called them, but with the SNAP benefit program closed down, they don't have any way to help. And so they just literally, I wish it was face-to-face, but they're over the phone. They are literally telling this poor mom whose baby hasn't eaten, sorry, can't go get you a $10 can of formula because we don't have processes in place to do that. And I know you're thinking, my church would never. That's probably what all the people that go to these churches thought. But on a positive note, shout out to the old grandpa pastor in Kentucky. That man was as empathetic as you could get, and he was jumping in his truck to go buy her formula right now. Moral of the story, churches, it's great to have organizations where you can funnel people to get the maximum amount of help, but don't let it rob you of your own compassion.
Okay, so everyone's making these posts about the girl on TikTok who's calling all these churches. I am 0% religious. And so is she, by the way. And the one that really tugged at my heart was the Islamic Center in Charlotte. You guys, I was waterworks. And then he was like, what flavor formula? Oh, I just donated. They have a baby formula tab on their website now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what people who practice organized religion, this is what it's for, to help the community. So I'm going to tag the page because they created a TikTok in order to say thank you to her for acknowledging that they were willing to help, no questions asked. And their website is on their page. You can donate as little as $5. Or if you're in Charlotte, you could go there and just obviously donate. But I implore you, if you have the ability to donate to organizations that you know are doing for the community, whether you are a part of their denomination, religion or not, do it.
So in regards to the lady that is calling churches, asking for them to get her baby formula for her starving baby, and they're telling her no, it reminded me so much of this story that I've read by my favorite author. And I just wanted to share a little bit of it right now. A lawyer stood up saying, "Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." What? Crazy. But he, desiring to justify himself, said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" And Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now, by chance, a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side." That's insane. So likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place, saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you and when I come back." Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? He said, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "You go and do likewise." Guys, this is a beautiful book. It's called the Bible. Y'all should read it.
I need y'all to take back everything y'all said about anything that has to do with Islam and not helping and being terrorists and all these evil people. Because there's a lady doing a social experiment right now on TikTok calling all these different churches with a crying baby in her background, asking all these churches for help for feeding her baby. And all them churches is like, hell no, you're going to have to find it out on your own. You're going to have to do it on your own. Mind you, she's closing all the churches that a lot of people do donations at. And it's that time of the year that a lot of people donate to the church. So she's like, all right, let me see what these churches are going to do. Mind you, she has a sound playing of a baby in the background crying. Like, you can hear it. And all of them like, hell no. But when she calls the small black church, they said, oh, girl, I got you. And guess who else said that they got you? She called the mosque. And the mosque is like, what kind of baby formula your baby need? So I need y'all to take it back fast in a hurry. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the food pantry is only available on Sundays, and I don't know if we have any baby formula at the moment.
I actually don't even have a baby. This is actually just a social experiment to see which churches would actually help feed a hungry baby that hasn't ate all night. She hung up. That's the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any formula here to give out. We don't have any kind of food bank or anything like that. Well, like I said, if it's anything like that, our benevolence is for our members.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Honey, I'm not in that area right now. I just know it because I'm out across town with the buddy in the hospital. We're mostly older riders. I mean, the young guy in my church is 43, and he's been riding for 26 years already. And the rest of us, like me, I've been riding over 60 years. We got some hot rodders and stuff, but we still try to help out the community as we go.
Christians and churches are responding after a woman went viral for calling churches asking for baby formula for her starving baby, and most of them turned her down. And what some of them are saying is absolutely wild. One church said what that woman is doing is evil and even compared it to witchcraft. He said this woman is a liar, she is indulging in trickery, she has the spirit of a witch, and if she comes near our church, she will be dealt with swiftly. This church, who also turned her down over the phone, said if a mother in need was at the doors of our church, raise your hand if you would help her. And when a majority of the people raised their hands, he said that's the only social experiment that I need. And this pastor of another church who also turned her down said that we are not obligated to help in a situation like this, and the only reason the mosque did is because they're obligated to by their faith. He said they get hundreds of scam calls and people wanting money, and they can't prove that she's actually in need. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.